Oh, yeah, so this video is going to be a little bit different. A few weeks ago, I had a conversation with another filmmaker, Sandra. She's doing the same thing as I am doing. She's making her own animated movie. Hers is 2D, so it's a little bit different, but otherwise, she's been posting her progress like I have. In fact, she goes into a lot more detail. So if you've been interested in my channel, I think you definitely appreciate her channel. I actually discovered her a few years ago when I was trying to find people doing the same kind of thing as me. There's not many people out there. There's a lot of people making their own animated movies, but there's not many people posting their workings out. She was one of the few I could find in the early days of me trying to make my own movie. She was one of the only people posting her own progress. So yeah, so we chatted for about 2 hours. She's going to be posting a decent chunk of the conversation. I'm just going to be posting a little bits, mainly about our shared experiences. But if you've been interested in my own journey and become interested in Sandra's journey, I think head over to her channel and you'll get a more in-depth version of the conversation. But otherwise, here's the short version of the conversation. Hope you enjoy it. And definitely, once you're done, head over to her channel, either to watch the longer version or just have a look at what she's been doing. Because, yeah, I think it's a lot more interesting than my channel. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get on with it.
So, yeah, I feel like we're in the same boat in many ways, except I'm pretty much unemployed. I got a part-time job, actually, recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm making my own short film as well, but I'm doing it in 2D. And yeah, I don't really have any experience in making 2D films either. So yeah, I'm just learning as I'm going. It's the same as Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest thing I've ever done. It's because it's taken forever.
Yeah. How long's it been taking you so far?
I did take that break that was like half a year, but
Yeah.
in like August I'm like at 2 years. But yeah, you have your anniversary now, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's the same. So it's 2 years this week, but I've probably maybe 6 to 8 months breaks split up in between. I don't think I've touched it for about a month actually. But so it's probably the same as you really, but just more spread out. But yeah, it's 2 years since I started, but you've got to live a life in between.
Exactly. Like if you're not like getting any money from it and you need to
Yeah.
work and do other things, then
Yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta
Exactly.
do.
And over Christmas, it got to December, and I thought, oh, I'll have lots of free time to make the movie. And as December and New Year went on, I thought I've been enjoying just being with my family and not working, and so I thought I'll just. But yeah, it's a bit of that. It swings and roundabouts. It's you got to take breaks, and yeah, if you're not being paid for it, then you don't want to do it, then don't do it. I think
It's all about the balance, man.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's really easy to burn out, even if you're enjoying it. It's my hobby, but you don't want to do your hobby every day because it stops being a hobby. So
Yeah, it's so hard, like the balance of that as well. Because I obviously was trying to become a game person, but the more
Yeah.
I'm going into it, I'm doubting it more and more, sort of. Because it's
Yeah.
just something so special about doing your own stuff. Like you probably know too.
Yeah. And so, yeah, making games was that's what I thought I'd be doing when I was about 18. I
Yeah.
presumed I like the idea of making. I always wanted to be a filmmaker, but when I got to about 18, I thought, oh, maybe I'll make games one day. But it just gets harder all the time, and the market gets busier. I don't think there's many people making their own movies, but there's a lot of people making games.
Right.
So I think it's a bit harder to get noticed when you're making games. But I'd love to make games. Yeah, this is why I haven't done it for a month, because no one's saying you need to be making your film. It's just you just kind of go, I'll do it later, and yeah. So to do things like that, forced deadlines are a good thing. And
Yeah.
and I've kind of got like a vague deadline for my film
Oh,
in my
really?
head.
Do you,
Just this time.
is that anything you
Yeah.
can say out loud, or?
Yeah. Because I'm working on it for 2 years and I'm about 2/3 of the way through. So I thought, oh, mentally, if I think next April, May, I aim to finish it by then I can say it's
So you got
taken
1
me.
year.
We'll see. Yeah. Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
It'd be nice to finish it sooner than that, but realistically, you know what it's like.
Yeah,
I bet
I
you.
think it's good to have like a buffer, to sort of.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I started. I don't know if you remember from the beginning, and I was like, I'll probably finish it in the summer.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I bet you thought it was like going to be a month or two, and
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, but I think it's also a thing of being a little bit of a perfectionist, and
Yeah.
and trying to reel that in, but because you're doing a thing and then you're like, but if I'm doing it, I might as well do it as good as I can, and then it takes
Yeah.
longer.
I reckon I could spend months on one shot,
Yeah.
just on one shot, just, and I think you've kind of got to just keep moving on sometimes because no one, hopefully everyone will care, but realistically, people just want to see a movie and then move on with their life, so they're not going to see your mistakes or things like that.
Isn't it kind of fun or like interesting to think about like this thing that you've spent years on, and someone's gonna sit there for like 5 to 10 minutes and go like, all right, and then,
Yeah.
then it's gone. And I feel like also a big problem is, and it's a problem in both making films and games, I guess, that you have sort of, you're like, oh, people are gonna see it and it's gonna be cool, and then when you release it's like, oh, it's like no one's noticing anything.
Yeah.
So
My dad was fortunate enough to work in television, and he said the biggest anticlimax was spending a year or two on the project, and then they'd go on TV. This was before social media. They'd go on TV, and you wouldn't hear a peep from anyone. It would just be on, and he'd be like, "Okay, so I've worked 2 years, and
Passing
you expect
by.
yeah,
it's honestly like so inspiring to just see you take off as like what you've done, because I feel like, because when I watched you, or when I didn't watch you, when we talked in the beginning,
Yeah.
you weren't really uploading about like anything at all. So I feel like I've seen a baby like become an adult.
It's like with you. I watching you, but I didn't think you had that many subscribers at all, but hardly any views. And now, again, but you inspired me to do this in the first place, because I was making it in silence. I was making it on my own with no one looking at it.
That's kind of like how I felt like when I was when I started, because I don't know if I don't know if I actually was planning on doing the YouTube thing really, because I just wanted to make the short film thing, and I was looking up I think we talked, you said the same thing. I was looking up other people doing it, and I couldn't find that many. Like so it's like, well, I might as well just share my stuff then.
Yeah, it's awesome though, because I don't think I would have even really maybe continued in the film if I hadn't seen you doing it, because it was your motivation. But yeah, just watching you, like your motivation and posting, like at the time you were posting like every week, was it? You were doing a weekly update.
Yep.
And yeah, just to see that someone was doing what I wanted to do was enough to make me think I want to do that. But yeah, it's hard to find anyone doing it. And people probably are doing it, but they're not posting about it. They're just making it. But,
yeah, because it does take up a lot of your time as well. So I mean, I totally understand people who just want to do the thing.
Yeah, I posted a short yesterday. It's 45 seconds long, and it took me since last Monday to make it. It's like 45 seconds. It's crazy. I come home from work and do like 10 minutes, then I have to go and do something, and it's just like that. And it's just like, and then that could have been time I could have spent putting into my actual movie.
Yeah. No, but that's actually part of some of the questions I've had, because our situations are also a little bit different. Like I feel like I probably have more time since I've either only worked part-time or I didn't have a job and I don't have like kids and stuff. But your situation feels like you have a lot more obligations and stuff like that. And I think the question I had was like, how like finding time, because I think a lot of people probably are wondering that too. How can they do that?
Yeah, I had to kind of tell myself that I can find time if I really want to do something, and me saying I didn't have time was an excuse. Because if you want to watch a film, you'll find the time to watch a film. If a film is 2 hours long, you'll find 2 hours to watch a film. Even though I've got kids and the wife and I, if I wanted to watch a 2-hour film, my wife and kids didn't want to watch it, I would find the time to watch the 2-hour film. So I've got no excuse to find 2 hours somewhere to do a bit of animation.
Yeah.
The only thing I do have is that what I'm jealous of you for is that despite the fact that, you don't have to work and everything, you can get up in the morning, have a shower, eat breakfast, and then get on with your movie.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I've got to sit, I hate the fact that I'm at work all day, thinking, when I get home, I can't wait to do my movie.
Yeah.
Then I get home, I say hello to the kids, have to say hello to the family, I eat dinner, and then I'm exhausted. And I think I don't want to do the movie anymore.
No, I understand that. That's completely like, if I had a full, even without kids, if I had a full-time job, I get, if I'm around people, I get really tired. So I think I would have the same reaction.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I'm lucky that I don't get tired around my family, but I do get tired around my colleagues and friends.
Yeah.
I get, and that's my social battery is quite small.
Same.
I'm quite so yeah. I'm thankful to have like a lot of nice people around me, but it's days like today where I'm just at home. It's lovely.
Nice.
But it's just it is hard, and so they're part of the reason I've done about a year's worth of work over 2 years is because I don't always get the time. And every day I wake up thinking like I'd love to be working on the film, and then it's just touch and go whether. Because last night we went to see friends and we got back about 9:30 and my family went to bed. And I thought, I could do the film now, but I was just so tired. I was like,
Yeah.
you should just go to bed. So
No,
it is hard.
I feel like it's and when a lot of people if they leave comments and stuff and they say maybe like they want to do that or it's it's tough and it is because I feel like maybe a lot of people think that it's not hard because you're doing it, but it's more really that you let yourself feel that and still do it.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be the person that isn't saying it's too hard for me. I'm trying to be the person that says I've done it. Doesn't matter how I got there, but I've done it. But yeah, I'm tired all the time, and a lot of my work takes place around midnight onwards, and all my videos are filmed in the middle of the night. And when I was 20, it was easy, and I'm 40 now, and I've suddenly hit that point where I'm like, I'm so tired.
I'm already there.
Yeah, every now and then, like 1 in 5 Friday nights, I'm suddenly like buzzing, so I do it. And then the next Friday, I'm like, I'm tired. So it just depends. But I didn't really start this project until me and my wife were planning to go away, and then she got a new job, and I booked 2 days off to go away. And she got this new job, and she said, I'm gonna have to cancel the work leave. I imagine you'll need to do the same. And I thought, no, I'm actually going to keep it. And that's the day I started this project.
Oh wow!
So I think if people are struggling to get started, I would say I know it's different per country. I know in the US, leave from work isn't always as easy as maybe Europeans. I'd say if you really want to start something, book 2 days off in 2 weeks' time and tell yourself that's the day I'm going to start my project. And I think starting is the first battle. You can worry about continuing later, but I think I did 4 rough shots in those 2 days. And that was enough for me to see, like to have an intro to a movie was enough for me to go, I just want to add another one. I want to add another shot. I want to add. So I think, that's
sort of, you create buzz around your own sort of, and that's why it's also important to work on something that you think is fun, because then you want to go back into it, even if it's like, I'm on this really hard shot or whatever. Yeah. You're still feeling that, like, but I really want to do it though.
Yeah. I say it's like putting a bit of a thread on your point. So it's like that. To have 4 shots, and it was about 15 seconds of an intro to a movie, and then it's like, well, if I do another shot, it'll be 20 seconds, and I kind of want to see 20 seconds, and then I thought, well, if I do 2 more, then that's 30 seconds. And it was just like that. It was my your own little buzz from that. Like I said, because you can't really show everyone that early on.
No,
you just show that. I showed someone that for the first 4 shots, and they kind of went, yeah, that's cool. But like, what's 4 shots? What's 4 shots to someone? It's not that interesting. So I kind of thought, well, if I do a minute, then I can start showing my friends a minute.
Yeah.
And and then they'll be more likely to go, that's good, Dave. Well done, carry on. So that's how I'm kind of, you didn't have to, That's how I motivated myself, and that's how I deal with like with the family and stuff, is just finding little pockets of time. And the second you do, I'm sure you found it as well when you break and then got back into it, because you were quite motivated when you got back into it.
I was with a vengeance. I came back.
Yeah. But I need to say, I took Christmas off, and I was stuck on a hard shot, and it took me about 3 days. Yeah, I think it took me about 3 or 4 days, like solid days, to kind of get my head right there. And once I did it, euphoria I got. So it's like,
Yes,
it's like,
that's crazy. I feel like it's the same thing when you're beating bosses in that, because I can't play those games though, because I don't have the how can I say it, patience for it. But I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's the same thing as when you're tackling like a really hard shot. You're like in
Yeah.
pain. You're in pain for days, and you're like you just want to
Yeah.
give up. And then when you
Yeah.
finish it, you're just like, oh my god.
I don't drink that much. I don't do drugs or anything like that. But that's my high when you get past. Like
Yes.
it's the nerdy high of getting past something. It's like, yeah, and I was buzzing when I got past that
Yeah.
shot after Christmas, and it just it lasered with a vengeance. I just the next week I just turned out another minute, just going. So yeah, it's weird because you kind of have to embrace nerdy highs, I guess, when you're making this
Yeah, it's
thing.
like little wins, tiny wins.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Because you not only can you also come back with some new energy and some you've relaxed, but also we talked about it I think on Instagram that you start seeing things that you didn't see before, like
Oh yeah.
like I was with the shots, and I was like, why are the shots looking so weird? I didn't think about it back then, but now when I'm looking at them, I'm like, something is off, and then you can
Yeah.
fix that thing, and it's way better
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that thing, yeah, for sure. Like going away and coming back is the best medicine for those kind of. Yeah, because I don't be saying, was you just changed the color of the outline?
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, you get stuck in your own little frustration, I think, and you're looking at it over and over again. Especially that's one thing about working on your own. Is that I guess if you were working as part of a team, the whole team would get together. Because my dad was an animator, and they would get together every Friday and look at everyone's work and discuss where things went right, where things went wrong. All very friendly, but it's all very. Sometimes it just takes one other person to say something, to say, "Oh, change the color of the lines." But if you're doing it on your own, it takes yourself to go away and come back.
You're just you're all up in your brain all the time, and
Yeah.
you don't see things clearly.
No, yeah, oh for sure. You get blind to your own. I'm quite good at getting blind to my own mistakes and just kind of thinking, "Oh, that'd be all right." And then when you go away and come back, you think, "No, it's not all right. I can do this to fix it." How did you get into it?
It's like, well, I've always been drawing and stuff since I was little. I think I've always been sort of like introverted. I like be by myself, and I grew up in the forest, or how I say it, in
Yeah.
a village, remote village.
Yeah.
So I mean, there wasn't much to do. You were out in nature, or I was inside, and I'd like to draw and read comics and stuff. But the fun thing about the just like the animation stuff is that I remember, because I liked anime and stuff like that, right? I always looked at that and all the work that they did, and was like, that looks like so tedious. Like I'd never want to do that. It looks so boring.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was like.
yeah.
Because I love the idea of making films, but the idea of sitting there drawing and then just moving it slightly, yeah. But even as a kid, I was like, yeah, it looks fun, but not for me.
I think it's a bit of like a self-torture, like, but you like it.
Yeah.
Because I think I got a new computer like years back, and I downloaded some free drawing software, and it said like, oh, you can animate it, and I'm like, I mean, why? I mean, I could try. Like, I've never done it, but I'll try it, And since I've been drawing my whole life, like I make characters and things, and then suddenly something's like moving, and it's just like, well, it's alive. Like, how is it? How?
Yeah, I still find that quite magical. Like the character you came up with in your head is suddenly living and breathing in front of you. Without sounding too cheesy,
No,
but it is.
for
Like,
sure, it
yeah, you're watching your stuff come to life. It's crazy, and you kind of get a weird. I think you talked about it. You get a weird like attachment to your character, and things like that. And yeah, it's a weird feeling, but it's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of I've heard people talk about that animators. I think you still like count as an animator, like oh, you have a lot of animation and stuff in your film as well, obviously. But it's like we like to play God a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm not. I think I'm learning world building on this project, but I watch a lot of YouTubers that create their own worlds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating, and you're in charge of all this stuff, and you can do what you want with it. It's a crazy feeling, and yeah, I suppose I'm trying to make her kind of a whole universe, really, in a weird way. It's like you're seeing a small snippet of it, but that's kind of like my film takes place across space. So it's like
It's
you're
so
creating planets and stuff. So it's fun. But again, but they're just doing, but what you're doing, you're creating like, you're creating a family, you're creating a life, you're creating your own little universe of like what's going on in this house. I love it. It's awesome. It's such a good hobby. How long have you been animating for now?
Oh, with this film or the in
Well, just in general, yeah.
In
Just
general.
since you've been with,
Well, when I got that first, when I tried it first time, I think it was literally like 2021. So it wasn't like super
I know,
long ago.
well,
Um, and then I did some 3D stuff as well. Also, obviously, I do 3D as well, but not for this film.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess it hasn't been that long, really.
No, I don't know.
I do really think that that's the way to go, though, because I think that's when people are like, oh, how are you doing this or anything like that. And a lot of people try and they fail. I think, as we both probably have as well in the beginning. I think the biggest problem is that people want to do the biggest, baddest, coolest thing and the longest thing immediately before they even have started to do like little tiny things first, and then that's when you just give up, you know.
Yeah, I think that is my mistake because I think what I've seen of your project, you're kind of keeping it into like a house kind of thing, and that's what I should have done. But yeah, I did the same thing. I probably working 2 months on like a scene,
Yeah.
and I did the mistake of making it a bit bigger than I should have. But my advice would be to essentially do what you're kind of doing. And try and do a story that takes place with like one person in a house is probably a very sensible way to start. Because the next project you can do 2 people in the street, and then the next project you can do 5 people in a park. It's like you can step it up.
Yeah, and I think definitely that's the way, because it was definitely something I was thinking of when I was planning my film, because all I knew in the beginning was like, okay, I wanted to do like an animated film thing, because I had done one before about the dogs. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
And then I started school and I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do all of these things at the same time. So this time I was like, I'm gonna make a film and I'm gonna finish it. And you know, and what's cool about 3D and 2D, and I forget that sometimes, is that you can like I can do literally whatever I want.
Yeah,
And
I think like
yeah.
I'm jealous of you in that sense. Like you like my skills stop me from doing whatever I want in 2D, but you could just draw if you want to. I'm sure it's not easy for you, but I feel like you could wanted. I feel like I can make anything I want in 3D. I feel like I'm stuck to my skill set. I feel like your skills seem to be that you could like maybe go beyond that. I don't know, but I feel like you've got the skill to.
I do feel limited in my 2D skills for sure as well, because as I said, I decided on this kind of grounded story, because if you look at anime or anything like superheroes series and stuff, there's a lot of fighting and cool fighting scenes, and like that would be really awesome to try and do that. But I think making a whole film of that, I think that would be like way over my capabilities.
Yeah. Okay. Well, today, I just feel like you just come across as like you can do it.
Really? No.
Yeah. I have no worries about what you're capable of. I like that you have dabbled with 3D and stuff as well, so I know you've got the right brain for like doing like trying different things. My brain is very stuck on a very certain thing, but I feel like you've got a bit more. Yeah, you've got a bit more eclecticness to your skill set, I guess. But I don't know.
Well, I don't know what happened. No, I think one thing that I've since I've gotten to know you a little bit in these months, I do feel like you like downplay your stuff like way too much, because
maybe
we talked about the thing when you're stuck in your head, I think a little bit, because when I look at your stuff, I'm like, oh my god, this looks amazing. Like this is crazy. Like he's just doing this at home on his home computer. That's crazy.
When I look at yours, I'm like, oh, mine looks like a child did it. Yours looks like a proper film. But I think, but to be honest, I think it's maybe quite healthy, I guess, to think like that, because
I guess I
never want to be one to be like, look how cool my stuff is. I want to be like, I want to feel like I'm trying harder all the time. I want to feel like I'm slightly confident, but I want to feel like I'm not yet where I want to be. I don't want to be at a point where like I can do whatever I want. Like then the motivation kind of goes a bit. I want to be like, oh, I'd love to try something a bit better next time. I'd love to be better. I'd love to do that. So I guess it's quite healthy to be like that.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. I feel like, and I feel like I mean, you're never finished, right? You're always gonna have stuff to learn.
Yeah.
Because
I think the same like the video I posted yesterday is a bit like you have with every single shot you have to call time on it. But same with your film. Like one day we're both gonna have to sit down and go, my film is done. I could do this, I could do that, but today is the day I say no more.
It's kind of scary, honestly, because I'm doing post now. I'm like halfway through already. It's going fast. And like I'm thinking, obviously I need to do like music and sounds and stuff, but I'm starting to think about, okay, so it's gonna be done. So what do I do?
That was my question. One of my questions actually was, what do you have a plan for what's next? You don't have to tell me what it is, but do you have a plan for what's next? Or are you going to just enjoy not having a project on the go?
Well, I'm gonna at least try to do the film festival thing with the film and see what happens before I upload it. But I do have sort of a project that I want to do, or there's like, I don't know. I should probably take a rest for a little bit and try to get into my new part-time job. But I'm sort of like leaning towards making a comic or something, because I think that would be cool.
Yeah, a comic would be great, and you've got full creative freedom then, haven't you? With the comic, you can have buildings exploding and cars crashing. You don't have family.
And like a scene doesn't take ages to make. It's just I mean, it takes some time, obviously, and you can put more details and stuff into it, but you don't need to do every frame like that.
So I think that'd be a great thing to do. Yeah,
I think that'd be, because I mean, for me, it's the same thing sort of as making a film in many ways, because I think what I like to do is tell a story very much, and like, because the older we get, I feel like we just collect a lot of things, like experiences and feelings and all that, and I feel like one thing I feel like is that I mean, we're all like not unique, but also unique at the same time. But like only you can tell about, cosmic kidnap, and like I don't know. It's just like it feels special.
I don't know project, but I get the feeling it must be rooted in your own world. It feels like maybe that was how your house was when you grew up, or things like that. I don't know, but it obviously comes from a place. Like I think so you kind of bring yourself to these things. I get it when people say my main character looks like me.
Oh my god, that was so funny, because I hadn't even thought about that when I saw that. That was so hilarious when you put the pictures next to each other.
Yeah, because I was like, how dare he? Oh no. I put like, oh, how dare he say that? And I was like, no, he's right. Oh god.
Because I talked about that, right? I don't know, I think I talked about that in my original character thing, but I think it probably applies to any stuff you make, is so you just put yourself in there.
I did a project when I was learning Blender. I did a project for someone. It was someone wanted like a Wii, the Wii's, what they called. The characters on the Nintendo Wii.
The Wii's,
Yeah, Wii's. That's it. I did a guy for his social. I did him dancing in a style of a me, and I put it on my Facebook, and all my old school friends went, he dances like you. I was like, oh no. That's horrible. She's going like so I guess you do project yourself into these characters, whether you like it or not, I guess.
I'm honestly amazed by your facial animation stuff, because a lot of people find that really difficult, and I feel like you're doing, like, it looks really realistic. Like I can really tell the feelings of the character.
It's a problem. It's a problem you probably have actually with yours, is that because I thought I originally planned to have dialogue originally, and I thought that you kind of, and then I thought it'd be easier if I just don't do dialogue because I don't want to get people recording lines and things. But it actually became hard because then I've got to try and get all the expressions. I've got the audience needs to know what they're thinking, and I literally just ripping off my own face. I tried doing an angry face, then copy that. But I appreciate you saying that, because that's been the hardest thing, is trying to get expressions across. And I put a video up about it, but I'm using the most basic amateur way animating facial animation. You're supposed to have full-on rigs for CGI, and I'm not using
Yeah,
it.
the
Then.
facial stuff, right?
Yeah,
No, but I feel like
that-
because you're using a lot of blend shape stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
decision.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's doing the job, but yeah, you just kind of set the line up to do that, and then you just knock into it.
It's so nice.
But I think with you, though, you have to you haven't got because I've got that's set up now, so that I can use that for the next year. Whereas you've got to actually think about what the expression's going to be, and then
Yeah.
try and get that on the page. And that's why I can't draw because I couldn't draw angry, apart from doing eyebrains like that.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is, honestly. That's pretty much. I think that's what's good. I mean, obviously, I very much enjoy the anime style, and I think to some people it looks like really simple stuff. And it's because of all these artists through all of these years, they've studied and they just simplified the hard stuff into simple shapes, so it still can do the job, but it's like as little amount of lines that you need for it to work, and it's just very it's interesting to do.
Yeah, sure, yeah, but I wish I could do it. It's just I feel like I'm entirely using shortcuts. I feel like you haven't got the there's not many shortcuts you can do. You just have to throw yourself into it, I guess. I don't know. There must be no bits and bobs, but yeah, like I said, my facial rig's set up now, so I'll just be using that forever. Whereas every time you try a new shot, you've got to start from scratch. And but yeah, so that's just.
I guess the shortcuts are like inside my brain, like because you in a way when you've done it many times, or like so okay, like angry face is like this, and concerned face is like this, like it's interesting.
Thing about doing what we're doing is that when you start, nothing is like a muscle memory, and everything is new. But then when you go back to after a year of animating and you go on to the next shot, your brain just automatically goes into. It's all up there. So you just naturally go into the next bit.
That's so interesting, isn't it? Because I don't know how you felt when you were coming back from breaks and stuff, but when I came back after 6 months, I was like, I don't even remember how to do this anymore, and just sit down. I'm like, okay, maybe it takes at least 20 minutes or something, but you just go back into it. I was surprised.
I definitely find if I haven't done it for 2 weeks, I can do 4 shots over 4 days easily because my brain just kicks within 20 minutes. Yeah, you're straight back in the zone, and you just go off on it. But yeah, it's hard to find the motivation to get back into that sometimes. But yeah, I'm definitely relying on my own kind of muscle memories, and I think doing projects like this, I definitely think it's I recommend it to anyone who wants to become an animator because I mean, you must have spent years just animating random shots, like random things, right?
Just little cute animals and stuff.
Yeah, and social media is great for that because you can post on Instagram and get a couple of likes, and that's really quite addictive. So I was doing that for a bit. So yeah, I think start by doing that. But I think what we're doing is probably the best way you can learn. So I don't think I'm ready to do human stories like what you're doing. Yeah, I think I'd love to do that. But I think
that's interesting because I feel like the opposite. I feel like what you're doing is really hard, and I feel like mine is more like me staying in my safe zone.
I think what you're doing is much harder because I can get away with murder. I can say, "Oh, that's how aliens react." Everyone knows how humans react, and everyone knows what a human face does. So I think what you're doing is I think that's harder. Yeah, I can get. I've got a little furry blob in mine. You can get away with all sorts. I can say.
So cute. I mean, you need to sell plushies or something because I want to get one. I want him here in my office.
How did you decide today was the day you were going to make your project? So what was the day that started you off making it for? What day did you? Because I think the thing people find the hardest is saying, today I'm going to start making my short movie.
Yeah.
What made you suddenly think today is the day I'm going to make a short film? Because did you plan it all in advance, or was the day you started to plan it and then you just kept going, or did you? Because I created all my characters and I thought one day I'm going to make a short with these, and it took me about a year to kind of think today's the day I'm going to start making this short film. So I didn't know if you had a day where you suddenly thought I'm going to get off my butt and make something today, or did you say next week I'm going to start making my short movie? What?
So for me, I guess this story wasn't something I had. It sort of came to me when I started planning the film. But for me, I think it was because I had been I graduated from school, right, to be like a game person, and then I did pro bono work for like 4 months for a startup company, and it wasn't right for me, and I was feeling, honestly, I was feeling kind of defeated, like I've been doing work like this for no money for 4 months, and then I told them like I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gone.
Yeah.
And then on the weekend, I think I was literally just like, okay, I'm unemployed now or whatever. Like, now I want to do something for me. Like, I want to do a me thing. And then on the Monday, I was like, okay, it's go time. And then I started planning everything out. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it just kept going from concept to animating. You just went all guns blazing. Yeah, well, yeah, because I kept doing what a lot of people do, where they kind of say like, oh, I've made a character, I'll do something with that one day, and then I just kept doing that. I made a spaceship, I'll do something with that one day, and it took a long time for me to think I need to set a date and say it's happening, because otherwise, I wish I could have just gone, all right, I made the character, I'll make another character tomorrow, I'll design the next character, and then we're off. I couldn't do that. I think that's a lot of people struggle to just get going. I think a lot of people have have stories in their head, and a lot of people have ideas. In my life, I've met people who've kind of said, "Oh, I've got a great idea for a book," and they never write it. And I think
I feel like that's so sad. Like I mean, it is hard. I mean, God knows it's hard to do this stuff. But like I feel like if when people get to it and they do it, it's so rewarding. Like it's I don't even care about like views or stuff like that. Just if you remove all of that YouTube stuff, and even though this is fun as well, it's just so rewarding to do the thing. And it's like I don't know, I'm getting more like spiritual now or something. Like, it's like a relationship almost, like between you and your thing that you're creating.
It kind of weirdly becomes the thing that defines you. I don't want to be defined by my day job. I want to be defined by like my family, my friend, and my projects. I kind of want, without getting morbid, when the day comes, when I pass, I want things like my projects to be part of who I was.
Exactly.
It becomes a big thing, and if you do it right, it can be really special. And if you get it wrong, like I could do all this and it could flop, and I'll still be very proud of it, and my friends and family be very proud of me for doing it.
Exactly.
So I think if anyone's thinking about doing it, just do it, because you'd be so proud of yourself, and
you get better at your craft.
Yeah, exactly. But that's kind of the whole point of this project, is that when I look at the worst thing I could have done was start at the beginning of my project, because all my worst shots are at the beginning, and I kind of got better.
I know that.
So I kind of, as much as I want to go back and reanimate the beginning, I have to tell myself, no, I just need to
move on,
get on with it, and then next time I'll worry about it. But I think a lot of people are put off by that, because they kind of go, I think a lot of people kind of think, oh, just I'll just give up because I can do better now. And I think you feel so much pride of having a project. You can start uploading stuff. The Instagrams are lovely, but YouTube not so lovely. I do get really horrible comments, and you kind of have to, I delete them, but they are stuff like, this looks like whatever, the characters look ugly, whatever. I kind of mocked it a bit in my last video, because, but I didn't let it get to me, because I kind of know that I'm learning, and I kind of know that I'm not a lighting cameraman, I'm not like a, you know what I mean? This is me learning. I can see where I'm wrong, and it does like...
Oh, sorry. Go on.
That's right. You carry on, sorry.
No, because you're not only learning, you're also actually doing, because I think a lot of, if we're looking at internet trolls here, they like to say a lot of things, but I don't do a lot of things,
Yeah, that's kind of what my wife said to me, is like, it's just people who just want it's just bait, isn't it? Just they want the attention, and so I think just delete it, and it makes my comments look more positive when I delete them. I didn't get them very often, but it's just like...
I usually just leave them. I think it's kind of fun.
I left a couple, but I think someone... I woke up the other day, and I was like, oh, I've got 10 comments. It was one person just going through all my videos, going, this sucks.
Oh my God, really?
I deleted all that, because I thought that's someone out for a bit of attention. But I think my point was, you can let that get to you. It's really easy to... let it's really easy to look at them and go, oh, it does suck. You kind of think, well, I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but I'm proud of what I've done, so that's enough for me.
We both sort of, maybe not started this, but we were having a hard time finding people who are showing their whole process. Like, maybe someone just uploaded the finished product, and then that's really cool. And it also looks very like unattainable. So I think posting things like we're posting right now is what I wanted when I started. Like, I want to see that anyone can do this. Like, it's not it's not anything special in that way.
Yeah, and what was drawn to me about what drew me to your videos wasn't just you showing us how you did it, but it was showing your life. It was showing you like getting a drink and like visiting places and like seeing a bit of your house and stuff. It was like you were just living a normal life, and that was really kind of inspiring watching you get up and like I think there was a video quite early on where you like making a cup of tea or coffee or something, and you were just like starting your day, and that was really relatable to me compared to like I see some people and they got their amazing like I know you've got your amazing art studio. I haven't got that. I sit in my living room where the computer is, and like my family are watching TV, and I'm sat in the corner. And sometimes you see people and they're living the dream, and I was seeing you trying to live the dream with a normal life, and that was really inspiring to me. And I don't see anyone doing that.
That's really interesting that you say that, because now when you're saying it, I remember I consciously filmed myself what I was eating for like lunch or breakfast because I wanted to have it in the video. I think I just wanted it as an intro for the video, because I don't do that anymore, I guess. But
no, but it's there. That's what I mean. You don't want to see that every day. I don't think I want to see you eating toast every day. But no, just I think not enough people inspiring me. But when I saw your video, I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to see, and that was enough to get me, because I was doing my film, but I wasn't thinking about showing the world anything. I was just doing it. And then when I saw you doing that, I was like, oh, someone else is doing this, and they're living a normal life. Too many YouTubers kind of look like they're already living the dream and just animating all day and not struggling to pay bills and stuff like that. I wanted to see someone trying to live a life whilst making a project, because that's what 99% of people are doing. And I think if anyone's watching this thinking about doing it, but they don't think they can because they've got work and things to do it, because you'll be so proud. I do feel proud of myself. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a big difference, because I feel like a lot of people are scared also of like showing off or saying good things about their own things, but I feel like there's a big difference between what you said before, when you said you don't want to be someone who's like, oh, my stuff is the greatest. I think there's a big difference between that and actually, I mean, we're allowed to feel proud of something we've worked really hard on, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it's that, because I know mine isn't like Pixar quality, but I know that lots of people wish they could be in my position and have 2/3 of a movie done that they've made at home on their own ideas and their own characters. So I think, as a result of that, I definitely feel proud. And the pride comes more from the fact I got off my ass and did it. I think it's not so much like how the characters look and how the film looks is more about that I'm doing something that a lot of people say, I wish I could do that. I wish I did that. It's like, you can. Yeah, not a lot of people get to this age even, so I need to just do it. Otherwise, I'm going to be on my deathbed going, I didn't make that film.
Exactly, that's exactly how I feel as well. Exactly, because you could go around and wait forever, you know. Yeah,
I just always thought like, oh, one day when I make my film, one day I'll make a film, one day, and it's like, well, when? I should probably do it now. Yeah. There's a lot of people with stories in their head not telling them. It'd be nice to see them.
I feel like I definitely feel like we need those human stories nowadays with everything going on with AI and stuff. And there's plenty of good stuff to be done with AI, I feel like, but I really, it's the human stories and human expression that I really just love the most.
I'm not completely opposed to people using it as a tool when it's done ethically. I think you've talked about it. I mean, there's certain parts of AI I think are great and will be interesting. But a friend of mine sent me a video he made just with test with AI, and I was a bit like, oh god, that's like that would have been 2 weeks' work for me. Just a prompt. You
feel a little bit insulted. You're like, well,
yeah. to see people doing it properly, and then like so like you're doing 2D, and people thought 2D was going to die out 20 years ago, and people are still doing it, and it's a lot more accessible now. Like when I was a kid, to do 2D meant drawing on a piece of paper and painting it by hand.
That's
yeah,
too much.
Yeah. So I think it's really accessible now. So I think like if you're thinking about making a film and you're thinking about AI, I'd say maybe try Blender, maybe try Adobe Animate, maybe try Photoshop. Just give it a
Exactly. There's a lot of obviously I'm using Adobe stuff now for myself, but when that first time when I started animation, that was a program named Krita, and it's completely free.
Oh yeah, I want to try it. Yeah, I've not downloaded it, but Krita and what's the other one? GIMP.
Yeah,
they're both quite. I want to give them. We'd give them both a try because I'd love to move away from the paid stuff. I'd love to move towards the open free stuff, but Adobe stuff is just too useful.
Gorgeous Blender.
Yeah, like going back to me learning 3ds Max, I was learning something that wasn't community based. I was learning something that was like professionals were using it and spending a lot of money to learn it and use it. And then when the Blender community just opened my eyes to like, everyday people are using this and making stuff, like maybe I could.
And now
this is the perfect time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, because he started in Maya and he made a film in Maya, and then he decided to pull back and start using the more community based stuff because it was easier and cheaper. And you're starting to see it more now, and I think that now's the perfect time with things like Flow happening. If you're into making stuff, the editing programs like Resolve are free now, and you can do a lot of compositing in Resolve. And I think like and Blender's compositor is getting better. It's not amazing, but it's getting better. I like better. Things like and Krita and stuff like that. It's like you can get all this stuff for free. Give it a try. If you want to pay later for stuff, that's fine. But I think if you are a creative itch, scratch it. Don't go to AI. Go to start here, and then we'll see where AI goes.
Yeah, no, like I completely agree with you. I do feel like these years are the years of the indies. I feel like there's a shift happening. I don't know what's happening, but I feel like the indies are booming right now, and this is the time to be making stuff for you.
I hope so. Yeah, but I think like maybe animation budgets are going down, whilst animation software is becoming more accessible. So the stuff I'm doing, you couldn't have done that 20 years ago on your own. I don't think a team could have done it without millions of pounds.
Exactly.
Just because you had to pay people to model, you had to pay for software, so you had to pay for subscriptions to these things, and now they did all these tools like the floor of my first scene is someone's uploaded a floor package essentially. Then use this for free, and you can just import it, and you've got a floor, and these are the shortcuts. Yeah, that's what it is. And Blender, the community, is just people helping each other out. And I think the audience I've got is mainly people trying to find people helping other people, and I'm trying to help people. I'm making my film to show people that it can be like done. You don't have to be. And just say that I work in a hospital and I just kind of come in and make a film.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like trying to get into the creative industries lately, it's always been like, well, you need this many years of experience to do this and that and that and this and wait, you don't. Well, maybe certain things, of course, but you can do things.
Yeah, the fact that you said you've been doing it for 4 years is like mind-blowing to me. I thought it was just something you always did, and it's like I thought you always did animation stuff. And yeah, I've been doing Blender for 5 years. You've been doing what you're doing for 4 years. It's not that long. It goes like that.
Yeah.
And as you get older, it goes quicker. But that I've been doing this film for 2 years is crazy to me because it feels like I started it 3 months ago.
Right.
Now, that's another thing I would say as well is like if I don't want to put people off by saying I've been doing it for 2 years, because look on your phone and see what you're doing 2 years ago, and I bet it feels like 3 weeks ago. And all I've done is, when I've been making this project, is think I wish I'd started it earlier. Say with the YouTube stuff and the Instagram stuff, I wish I'd started it earlier. But don't let that put you off. Start today, because it'll be 2 years down the line before you know it, and you'll be like, oh, I'm glad I did that, and it feels like no time has passed at all.
I think as I've seen people say on YouTube, like, you're still gonna, like, the time's gonna pass. Either way, like, you're doing it or not doing it, so you might as well just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is going to pass. It'll pass quicker and quicker before you know it.
Don't say that.
no, it's scary. It's just nice to speak to someone doing the same thing. Like I say, it doesn't happen very often.
No, same. I feel the same for sure. Have a good one.
And you? See you later.
Bye.